Hello and welcome to the social media marketing engaged social media plan for Game Changers. My name is Michael, and today I'm joined with Elizabeth, Parker, and Matt, and we're going to talk a little bit about the plan we came up with for Game Changers. Next slide. Game Changers is a locally owned and operated video game store here in Utah. They have two locations. The first one is here in Orem, right by Barnes& and Noble, and their other location is up in Salt Lake across from the giant Cinemark. Game Changers is a video game store. Their main um, product that they bring in and out is video games, but it mainly consists of items that people bring in and sell to them. So not only do they sell new games and consoles, they buy some from other people and resell them so they can help pass around the games to everyone in the community. Next slide. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about what went into the market research and a little bit about Game Changers. Next slide. As I said, Game Changers buys and sells video games to people, and this can be ranging from anything from the brand newest consoles to like the PS4s, PS5s, Xbox One, and Xbox Series X, clear down to the old original stuff, such as the Atari, the Super Nintendo, the Famicom. They do this because they bring in stuff that other people sell to them, and as well as importing things from Japan and other places to offer the widest possible selection they can for people. In addition to this, they have a couple unique selling propositions. The first is up in their Salt Lake store, they have a precision gadget repair shop where they repair iPads, iPhones, all the other electronics, including game consoles, to kind of expand their reach there. And in their Orem store, they don't offer the repairs, but they do sell Pokemon cards, which in the past few months have exploded in their popularity and have brought in a whole bunch of new people into the store. Next slide. So let's talk about a little bit where they sit in their market. Next slide. So they have four major markets that they market to. The first one is the modern gamer. These are the people who usually are coming in looking for a new game to play. They'll often bring in their old games so they can get those cheaper and then go out and play the next game and then come back. This audience is generally younger, from the ages of like 15 to 25. They usually have a little extra spending money, and they'll come in, buy one or two games, and then come back in a month or so when they're ready for a new game. The second market consists of the collectors. These are people who aren't usually bringing in games because they like to collect them and hold on to them. And these are usually the people who look towards the older games and consoles because whether it is nostalgia or they want to share with their children the games and experiences they had as a kid. These people are often generally have a lot more money to spend and are a lot more willing to spend a lot of money if they can find the exact thing that they're looking for. And then the last major markets are split between the two stores, whereas the Salt Lake one that has the repair shop, their market is outside of just the video games. They have people who break their phones because phones break real easy nowadays, and trying to find a good solid place to get it repaired can be super difficult. Game Changers up in Salt Lake fills that market of a cheaper option that's also concerned about quality and making sure that their products are working great. The Orem store with the Pokemon cards allows them to target the more niche collectors market, and it brings new people into the store that may not know that they want to get into video games, and this can be their first introduction to it. So this is generally the market they consist that Game Changers reaches to. Next slide.
This is Parker, and now I want to talk about the competition that Game Changers now faces as they go into the market of selling games and trying to diversify against those competitors. So the gaming world is a multi-billion-dollar business, and some of the bigger ones range from Microsoft to Sony, who sell their games online, and they also distribute to the stores that you see now with GameStop and DVD Game Exchange. Um, these ones we're not going to be super concerned with Game Changers. Game Changers is a local business, and it's not going to be able to compete with a global business like Microsoft or Sony. So these two companies, DVD Game Exchange, which is a local Orem store that buys and sells and trades a lot of the old games as well as some of the newer ones, similar to what Game Changers does. Also similar is what GameStop does. But GameStop will also sell new games as well as buy and trade in older games. So there's a lot of different competitors out there, and in the gaming world, it's pretty stringent. And so social media definitely will have to count. Can you go to the next slide, please? So let's compare these two to what Game Changers is. Can you go to the next slide? So in this slide, we really wanted to compare DVD Game Exchange and Game Changers against each other for the main reason that GameStop and Microsoft and Sony are just these big companies that have a lot of followers. And so it would kind of skew the numbers to the point where you wouldn't even be able to see Game Changers or DVD Game Exchange on the graph. So as you can see, the followers and Instagram followers, DVD Game Exchange has the majority, as opposed to what Game Changers has. And it's actually kind of funny as we were going through this social media audit, the Instagram part, Game Changers didn't actually know they had a Instagram account until we found it. Can you go to the next slide, please? So with this last social media audit, this is the most important part is not only getting the likes, but also getting the comments back. So as you can see on this graph, DVD Game Exchange definitely has a little bit more likes on Instagram and Facebook on average, but less comments. And I think this is a good part to look at for Game Changers. They can build a good community already, and from the people that they have, and one of the main things I think can attribute to this is maybe that they're newer, but also just in the fact that both of them are kind of posting the same content. And so for one, it's not as good. And for the other one, it is working. And so I think moving forward, that's good to know is that maybe to get more community involvement is to change what we're posting. Go to the next slide, please.
Thanks, Michael and Parker. I'm Elizabeth, and I'm going over the key objectives. Like what Parker mentioned, they didn't even know they had an Instagram account, which can be pretty troublesome when you're wanting to grow an Instagram account. So they have minimal engagement on their Instagram. They have 110 followers and 8 postings with an average of 25 likes per post. They're not consistent with their posting across all of their platforms. Their last post on Instagram was January of 2019, and they have months gap between each post. They receive most of their engagement on Facebook, however, it isn't consistent. They do have 1,300 likes on their Orem store page, which is good, but we want to grow that larger. So we want Game Changers to be more engaging with the community and more consistent with their posting across all platforms. We want them to bring in followers. We want to direct our customers to the social media pages, and we can do that by encouraging the employees to engage with our customers while they're in the store, talk with them when they come and check out our merchandise, and mention that we do have a community on social media. We also had the idea of having secret social sells and trade-ins, have a daily or weekly promo code, like a secret password that they can use in store to get 5% off their purchase or 5% more trade-ins for their games and consoles. And these codes can only be found on our Instagram or Facebook. And these codes can be changed, whether it be every month or every week, just to keep people on their toes and encourage them to continually check in on our platforms for the new deals. And we also want to increase our paid advertising on Facebook and Instagram to get new followers. By creating Facebook and Instagram ads, we can target specific groups and that will benefit and have interest in our products, and bring just brand awareness to us, to people who just may not know that we even exist in the area. We wanted you to use all these tools to basically create a sense of community and a fan base with Game Changers, and and encourage our employees not to only post on the social media, but also to like respond to comments and grow and create that sense of community where people can go to them for questions or tips and tricks, to really have a effective platform. Next slide.
Okay, so my name's Matt. I'm going to go over the KPI objectives. So the first one is to create awareness. So main goal for Game Changers is definitely to create awareness about what Game Changers does as a whole, as well as selling video games and trading cards. Along with that, the overall goal is to gain more followers on their social media platforms. So our target market size for Game Changers would be local, which is Utah County customers as well as Salt Lake County customers. This would come to a total of 120,000 potential customers. The platforms we will use to best reach our target markets are Facebook, Instagram, as well as a little bit of Twitter. Um, Due to Game Changers being a smaller local company, paid ads will be on the lower end of putting money towards. So our goal is to just bring in as many new followers as possible through different means. Um, the budget, our suggested budget for the ads is $10 per ad. Our main goal is to grow our follow base because we do not have an incredibly large reach on our social media. Currently, our strongest base of followers is on Facebook, but we have small followings on Twitter and Instagram as well. The reason why we are not putting more budget towards Facebook ads is because we want to focus on using our following to help us gain more followers as well as word of mouth. This would include increasing our communication with our customer base to help build a stronger, more engaged customer base. Budgets for time. We are planning for our ads to run 3 to 4 days. This will allow our ads to be circulated long enough for them to be seen, but not too long that it becomes a waste of resources. We're going to use Facebook Ads Manager to schedule and run 2 ads per week. These ads will be posted both on Instagram and Facebook because we believe these are the best platforms to acquire more engagement and attention to our social media pages.
So, like Elizabeth and Matt talked about, we wanted to focus on two main things: gathering new followers and creating a community. And a couple of the ideas that we've come up with to create new followers is do, like Elizabeth said, secret socials, where we do once a week, we'll have a secret word that they will bring in to get discounts or extra trade in value for their video games. We'll have contests going on. And then we'll also have employees asking them to follow our Instagram pages and Facebook pages for a little bit of a discount on their purchase or their trade in that they want to do. And then for creating a community, we want to do the Rate My Setup, which basically just encourages our followers and even some of our employees to post about their setup that they have for their gaming stations. Um, and then also just do like fan base posts where you just check out their collection. And then the same thing goes for employees. We want the employees to also post about their collections that they've gathered as well. Next slide.
Okay, so strategy continued. The first thing we want to do is go live. So we definitely want to use that option of um, pretty much going live on our social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram. So luckily, they do have that live option where followers can tune into the company's content when they decide to go live. So Game Changers can definitely take advantage of this ability and provide first look access for their followers on new video games that hit the shelves on the stores. They can also talk about upcoming releases, events, and contests as well that they hold at the store or online. Um, the next one is use attractive images and videos. So we definitely want to up the game when it comes to creating great images and videos and posting them to their social media platforms. That is something that Game Changers has lacked in the past. So we definitely want to work on that. Next one is find the best time to post. So definitely making sure that we are posting at the right times and optimizing Game Changers' overall reach on their social media platforms. Get coworkers engaged. So making sure that we get our Game Changers employees involved with the social media. So whether that's creating content, to be able to create a more engagement as well as an overall successful social media presence. So we're definitely wanting to have those coworkers brainstorm and find new ways to reach out to Game Changers following. The next one is to start a contest, which we will talk about a little bit more as well. But just starting a contest to get more overall engagement with our followers and get them excited for winning discounts and free games and possibly brand new gaming consoles. Staying relevant, and then also be consistent with content and make it shareable. So we want to make the content shareable so that our following can share it to their friends and family. And then we also want to encourage comments on posts. So we definitely want to make sure that our followers are engaging with our posts and our videos.
So this is basically our rough plan on posts that we want to post on our Facebook page and our Instagram. Starting with Mondays and Thursdays, posting the collections, basically just posting about cool games that have come into the store, cool collection items that have come into the store that are available to be sold. Announcements of secret socials will be on Tuesday. And then we'll do a sales promo the first half of the month. And the second half of the month, we'll do a contest post. And then on Fridays, we're going to do Fandom Fridays, where we'll either have employee highlights of collections or setups, and then the other Fridays, we'll have customer posts highlights on their setup and their collections that they've collected as well. Next slide. So basically, this is kind of a brief rundown of some of the posts that we have. So for like Instagram, we have a Rate My Setup. For Facebook, we have like a collection post, like check out the collections that we have for either employee highlights. And then, of course, the third one is just getting communities involved and having them create conversations. Next slide.
Thanks, Parker. The teen related contest, because what a way to spend 19 then connect to video games. And Warner is our example of what we post. The quarantine had me like. So that would be the name of the contest, and we would have our participants take a picture of their best quarantine gaming setup. We have them post on their social media their creative pictures and caption it with the contest name Quarantine Had Me Like, and use the hashtag Quarantine Game Changers and tag us in the photo. The winner of the contest would have the funniest and most creative post relating to video gaming during quarantine. Each contestant has to follow our Instagram and Facebook, like the the contest post, and the prize for this contest is an Xbox, and the winner will be chosen by the owner of the store. So we would introduce this contest by having a few pictures of a guy playing his video games on day 1, and by day 1000 he's alone huddled up in bed with a few different screens and snacks around him, and he's looking like he hasn't showered in weeks. So that's kind of the joke around it. We plan on posting at least once a day for the week of the contest, and to keep the energy high throughout the giveaway. We plan on creating photo time lapses, reels, normal photos, posts, and stories that are shareable to get our community excited about the contest. And we plan on making this contest about a week long. We would start planning and posting about it on the 16th and end by the 23rd of the month. Next slide. For our sales promotion, we have a few different ideas. One would be 20% off purchase if the customer writes a Google review, and this will be presented to the customer within the store. And one of our sales employees will mention it to them. And if they can write the Google review in store and we could see it, we'll give them 20% off the purchase. And we'll even bump it up to 25% off if they follow our Instagram as well. We just want to promote our social media platform, and we think it would be a great way to let the community know more about us if we have a strong Google review. Most people, when they look up new stores in the area, they're more likely to pick a store that has more a higher rating than one that has no. We want to grow our Instagram community. Feel like this is a great incentive to do that. Next slide.
All right, so key findings and recommendations. So overall goals, obviously, Game Changers. We want to get more likes and followings on their Facebook page as well as their Instagram over the next 3 months. We believe this goal is definitely attainable and not out of reach, especially with our plan to optimize their content and engage with their followers more frequently. Target, just to reiterate, we definitely planning on reaching out to male and females ages 15 through 35 within Utah County and Salt Lake County. And then sticking to our social media game plan. So overall goal, like I said, gain more followers on Facebook as well as Instagram. To do this, we want to stick with creating more relative content, as well as our followers can interact with us and share with their friends and family to gain more awareness on all of their social media platforms. And then social media interaction, definitely want to make sure that we engage with all of our followers and respond to all comments on Facebook and Instagram. This will ensure that our followers know that they are part of our community and we care about their input and communication. That's it.